The crown is tossed in the air tonight at Breese-Stevens Field for either to grasp as we feature two heavyweight clubs on the CBS Sports Golazo Network presented by Dairyland Insurance. It's Forward Madison playing host to Charlotte Independence. Welcome one and all to this broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. Sitting to my right is Gary Bailey as we take a look back at the last time these two teams met. It was all the way back in May, so some time has passed. But these are two solid sides with pretty consistent lineups throughout the season. It was a 2-1 victory on the road for Forward Madison going to American Legion Memorial Stadium. The game winner finished by Derek Gebhard in that meeting. We'll see what kind of result we have tonight as we look at where they sit in the standings. And boy, do we have an excellent clash here. 23 points for Madison, tied for second place. Charlotte Independence just 1 point above them, sitting atop the League One throne for now. If either of these teams win, they will be sitting in first place at the end of the night. For Madison, as of late, as you would expect a team sitting near the top of the table, they've been able to find a lot of success. It's been more grinded out recently, though. Not too many comfortable results, but results nonetheless for Matt Glazer's side. They've had to grind through matches. They've had to find wins in not the prettiest of ways, but that's the mark of a champion, a team that can find a way to get 3 points even when they're not playing at their best. But someone who has been playing very sharply, Gary, is Devin Boyce.
Yeah, this is a wonderful free kick, beautifully hit over the wall, dips it under the crossbar. Fantastic striker of the ball, and keep an eye on him in the match tonight.
Meanwhile, on the Charlotte Independence side of things, 7 games unbeaten. In regulation, of course, there's a couple of Jägermeister Cup penalty losses in there, but after 90 minutes, they have not been bested since they were on the road against the Greenville Tribe June 19th. But one player who's been pretty quintessential to them finding success has been the USL League One leading Golden Boot player, Juan Carlos Obregon Jr.
Yeah, brilliant player. Such a fantastic touch. Got 2 goals to get them back to a 3-3 draw against Lexington. Magical player.
Absolutely magical. Both these teams pretty comparable in a lot of stats. Of course, they're sitting so tight on the table. There's a lot of ways you could see that they're pretty equal, but there's one edge that one of these teams has, according to Gary Bailey.
Yeah, I think it's experience that Charlotte have in players like Gabriel Oberton, Joel Johnson, Austin Pack. Yeah, there's some experience from Forward Madison, but it's that extra experience for Charlotte Independence that could be the difference here tonight.
And they're going to need that little extra edge being on the road at Breese-Stevens Field, a fortress for Forward Madison. And it's also Oktoberfest tonight. So don your lederhosen, grab some schnitzel, and get ready for Das Boot against the ball, otherwise known as kickoff, up next on the Golazo Network.
It's an S.
Oh, not bad. My name is John Murphy.
Pausani Ferry Sosa.
Soy Juan Galindre.
I'm Devin Boyce.
I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know?
I can juggle. Justin.
Justicia.
Justice.
Justice. Justice.
Justice from the ground. Justice from the ground up.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person. With new vehicles arriving every day, your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
We welcome you back here to Breese Stevens Field for this clash between Forward Madison and Charlotte Independence in Madison, Wisconsin. Second meeting of the season across competitions between Matt Glazer's side and Mike Jeffries, both getting ready for battle here. Should be a good one between these two quality sides looking to claim the first place spot in the standings at night's end. Let's take a look at how they're taking to the pitch to start things off. Brought to you by Madison Concourse Hotel. The standard 4-4-2 for Matt Glazer, but 4 changes from their Jägermeister Cup matchup on the weekend. Meanwhile, when it comes over to Mike Jeffries' side, also pretty standard formation-wise, 4-2-3-1 for Coach Jeffries. Only one change, and that's a big one. Gabriel Oberton slotting in the starting lineup, Gary.
Yeah, huge one. Trezor Mboyo goes to the bench. Otherwise, it's the same side. But look at that attack. 4 wonderful players going forward for Charlotte Independence.
The Jacks will be in their road white uniforms. Madison in their typical light blue. We prepare to get things going here from Breese Stevens Field. Our head official for tonight's match, Rafael Santos. And we are underway on the Golazo Network. It's Forward Madison playing host to the Charlotte Independence. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster. You'll also hear the voice of Gary Bailey as this one swung inside and straight into the arms of Bernd Shipman. See how both these teams feel each other out. Been a couple months since they last met. A 2-1 victory on the road for the Mingos as they went over to Charlotte, took all 3 points. Two high-quality teams looking to lay claim to the top of the table for now. Should the Charlotte Independence win this game, they would take first place and would stay in first place no matter what happens over the weekend. If Madison come out victorious, get all 3 points, they would just be looking at the Greenville Triumph as a team that could potentially hop them in the standings. But you saw how these teams are all laid out as far as their points are concerned in the table. It is tight up top. So every single week we may be seeing different teams donning that first place position.
And these are 2 teams in very good form at the moment. Forward Madison, 3 wins and a draw in their last 5. Impressive. Charlotte Independence unbeaten in last 7 in regulation. So they are top and joint second. 2 of the best teams, some of the best players. It should be a great night's football.
Here's Obregon. He cuts to his left. Now taps it to his left-hand side. This one played back across the middle, looking for Joel Johnson there. Early opportunity for the Independents after they've already had the ball swing towards goal for Bernd Shipman to collect. This Madison side, last time out, was here at home against the Chattanooga Red Wolves, a game they won 2-1 after a sloppy first 15 minutes, according to Matt Glazer. But he felt pretty good about the response after that fact, going down a goal in the game. He liked the resilience of his side, and although their conversion rate in that game wasn't good, they didn't give Chattanooga chances to break. They dominated the ball in their half, so still a lot of good takeaways from that game. I mentioned it at the opening of the show that if you're going to win a title, you got to find points on days where you're not playing your best.
Well, they can thank Devon Boyce for sticking one in the top corner from a direct free kick.
And here's an opportunity here as the ball trickles wide. Christian Cheney trying to drive it inside, and then rolled by Derek Gebhardt just beyond his reach.
Christian Cheney, former Charlotte Independence player going back to 2020, so you always love to score against your former teams. I'm sure he won't be any different.
He's a man who loves to score goals in general and have some acrobatics after the fact when he does so. Villalobos earns his side a corner kick. So it'll be Devon Boyce, the aforementioned game-winning goal scorer in that last game for Forward Madison. Boyce whips this one inside. Headed back up top. Murphy clips it. Didn't quite connect on that one the way he would have liked, but it falls to Galindrez. He also didn't hit the cleanest of contact on that ball. Not too hard for Austin Pack to handle.
It's a good chance for Galindres. He gets the ball inside the box, is able to control it or part control it, but the volley didn't have the power, didn't have the direction.
Now Obregon with some direction going the other way. Obregon shoots, it's scuffed by Mitch Osmond.
How quick is that transition? The Charlotte Independence, 1 second they defend, next thing he's in the box. Actually in the box there, one Obregon Jr. Here he is again.
Fed by Overton, but this time he was in an offside position. Roll this one back. Speaking of 2-1 results, the Independents coming off a 2-1 victory over the weekend against the Greenville Triumph. Jeffries called it a game. It's always good when Charlotte plays Greenville. It's always a good match. He felt they started decent, but dropped off a little bit after scoring the opening goal in that one. Let him get one back just moments after they took the lead in the first half, but then were better defensively in the second. Pleased overall with the way his side played in that one, and getting a result against another near top of the table team, even if it isn't Jägermeister Cup play, is always something you can hang your hat on.
Yeah, looking back to that match, loved the goal from Luis Alvarez, the way he sort of scissor kicked that one in the 8th minute. Brilliant finish.
Now we're looking to find Alvarez in this game as well. Here's Derek Gebhard. Over to Murphy. There's an errant pass there from John Murphy. Too much air underneath it, looking to connect with Payne. And there is the aforementioned Luis Alvarez.
You were speaking a few minutes ago about fantastic win for Forward Madison over Chattanooga. And what impressed me, the goals, expected goals against in that match, just 0.17, which means that Madison, when they want to defend and when they're up for it, they defend really, really well. When you allow the opposition only 0.17 chance of scoring a goal, that's pretty impressive.
8 clean sheets on the year combined between league play and Jägermeister Cup play for Matt Glazer's side. The 5 clean sheets in league play puts Bernd Schmidt at 2nd in the league. So this is a staunch Madison side defensively. And as you mentioned, can suffocate a team and really put their minds to it. They need to do some defending here as this one lofted forward for Dimmick. His way forward. And now an opportunity for Madison on the break. Juan Galindres picking the pocket of Omar Sist. Sends it ahead to Cheney. Knocked away by Spielman.
Well, that pounce on that error there, getting turnover ball in a dangerous position, Juan Galindres, and you can see what he was doing there, just put it in front of Christian Cheney. Great there, just pickpockets. Number 6 there, Omar Sist, but that ball there, it was in for Cheney, but good cover defending there by Nick Spielman. Absolutely vital defending.
Veteran Nick Spielman, 28 years old, from Melbourne, Florida. 2nd year with the Charlotte Independents. Ever since he's rolled in to play for Mike Jeffrey's side, he has been a fixture on that back line as Devin Boyce serves in another corner kick. And this one claimed by Pack.
Good goalkeeping, getting up nice and strong, holds onto it even though he got whacked in the process.
Let's take a peek at our keys to the game. Brought to you by UBS. Starting off with Madison. You mentioned it already in this broadcast. Those transition moments for Charlotte can be dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. So many good players going forward, and that was what Matt Glazer said. Got to limit those transitions, got to try and control the ball and not allow ourselves to be caught on that counter-attack.
Meanwhile, for the Charlotte Independents, no need to beat around the bush here. You get it to your playmakers. You get it to your guys who have been there, done that countless times.
And been there and done it at the highest possible levels. Manchester United, Newcastle United, just for example there with Gabriel Aubertin, an international at French youth level as well. So with that ability, you want to get them on the ball. He might not be the quickest to get past the defenders, but he can give and deliver the crucial passes.
Has the wherewithal to know exactly what to do with the ball and has the capabilities to do it. Alvarez as chests that one to keep it in play as it falls. Here's Gebhard. Player down for Madison. Play will go on for Santos, and now the whistle will blow. Juan Galindrez on the ground.
Let's have a look and just see exactly what happened here. Trying to chest that ball. Don't see much. It's very difficult these days to know how much is real contact, how much is just a slight incidental contact. But the moment you grab your head, the referee has to stop the game for concussion protocol. So players grab their heads a lot more than they would need to. Now, again, some of it is justified, some of it I think is not, and you can never tell which it is. So we'll give Galindrez the benefit of the doubt on this one, but it didn't seem to be much contact, to be honest.
And the most we can do is just hope he's all right. That'll mean Madison have a hold of the ball once again. 1 point separating these two sides coming into this game. Of course, that would still be the case now if you wanted to look at it in the active sense. 24 for Charlotte coming in, Madison with 23. Tight table near the top as teams are fighting for that player's shield. Matt Glazer said that this league is at the best it's ever been quality-wise. The coaching, the players, the quality of play. He said, I mean, just look at the table. That kind of shows you just how many quality teams are in the league this year, including these two sides. And on top of that, every single game, every single week, it's usually a one-score game. It's usually pretty tight. The league just continuing to grow in quality year by year.
Something that Mike Jeffries echoed as well. He said exactly the same. It is an exciting league. Just what is it, 1 point separating the top 5 teams?
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine that going down to the final day. And then you've got to chuck in the Jägermeister Cup as something else that these teams are playing for. And chatting to Matt Glaze, he says, look, you know, our aim is to do well in both. So we don't rotate for the Jägermeister Cup. We just rotate game by game as we have to. We put our best team out for both tournaments. And we're looking to win both tournaments. So good luck there to Matt Glazer.
Matt Glazer's side, so you get a look at him here, in a good position to win their group in the Jägermeister Cup as it stands right now, sitting at the top of the group. Still one more group stage match to be had in that cup competition. Only one team has actually solidified their spot in the playoffs as of now, and that was just last night. Northern Colorado Hailstorm locking up the West group in the Jägermeister Cup, which is sort of been the wild card team in that regard. As you look at the top of the table in league standings, and then you look at the Hailstorm, who are not too far behind when it comes to the top of the table in the league standings, but they aren't in that conversation as it stands right now. They're not that logjam up top, and yet have been so dominant in cup competition. So very interesting stuff as Stephen Payne taps this one back. Boyce lofts this one across. Gebhard will track it down in the corner. One-on-one with Clay Dimmick. Not a lot of real estate. Kroll will pass it back to Murphy. Madison retreat with the ball a little bit and now look to see where they could progress. Murphy drives it forward. Cheney is taken out by Ryan JJ, who's sort of slipped into more of a center back spot after coming in as a midfield player for Mike Jeffries when he was first acquired. As we look on the Dairyland replay of that challenge once again.
Does well there, JJ, not only to win the ball, but to drag it from behind his body and then take the impact and go down, win the free kick. Just to bottle up Ford Madison at home, which is what you want to do, obviously, when you're the away side. Just calm the crowd down, slowly work your way into the match, and then, as yet, haven't seen Gabriel Overton on the ball at all. I think, as we said in the keys, that's what you want to try and do. He hasn't got one single pass, I don't think, yet, to the former French youth international.
You see him by the head official right now. Hard to miss. Gabriel Oberton. The only change in the starting 11 from the weekend for Charlotte, excuse me. Comes to that competing for the first place spot in the table. Well, Jeffrey said that there's pride in getting first place, of course, but there's also the home field advantage that you can get by acquiring first place for the playoff matches. May not be as big of a win this year as it is in years past, given the expanded playoff format of 8 teams this season as opposed to the 6 teams with the top 2 getting a bye in previous years of USL League One playoffs. Boyce gets it returned to him. Squeaks through for Cheney for a second. And now we're gonna get a free kick in a dangerous spot for the Mingos.
It's given against JJ, who I thought made a decent tackle there on the edge of the box. He can't believe it, but it's been given by Rafael Santos. And it's a dangerous position as well. Boyce is eyeing that one up, but look at JJ there. I think he wins that cleanly. I'm not quite sure how I see that as a free kick, but referee's closer than we are, and his decision counts either way. So, Devin Boyce sharpening up his aim and trying to repeat what he did last match against Chattanooga. Stick it in the top corner.
Looking to create some deja vu here. Devin Boyce scored a beautiful free kick on Saturday. Can he recapture the magic here? Jimmy Villalobos also by. This is in a pretty similar spot from the goal on Saturday on the opposite end of the pitch, but left side beyond the box. Let's see what he could craft up. Here's Boyce, it's deflected over for a corner. Glanced the wall, popped over the crossbar.
I tell you what, it's a good effort. He grabs his head afterwards because he thought that was on the way, and it was. It was bending, it was going up, and just that one touch takes it off its line. Have a look there. Ooh, good header there from Nick Spielman. Otherwise, that was heading towards the top corner.
So now Boyce from another dead ball. This one a little bit further out. Flutter harmlessly over top. Now Villalobos. As that one denied entry by Bashir and Jai. How about that effort from Jacob Kroll? Obergon gets tracked down for the free kick there. The away side will get some possession here. The USL League One matchup kicks off September coverage on the CBS Sports Network. Player Shield holder Union Omaha visits newcomer Spokane Velocity FC in their first ever regular season clash. September 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. That's some good games this year across the USL on CBS Sports Network. Of course, we're here live right now on the Golazo Network. Boy, we had some dramatic games too. Galindrez tracked down by JJ. Look at that speed there. And he wins the throw in for his side. Well, actually, the call is, that's what I would have expected.
Yeah, JJ does look good. Only 23 years of age, the Frenchman, so very, very impressive. As I said, I didn't think he gave away a foul when it was given, but he's won a couple of important tackles. He's got good pace at the back. Makes it difficult for the likes of Galindrez to get past him.
Payne. Back to Villalobos. Payne's service comes in, headed away by JJ. He's been very involved early on in this game, that's for certain. Alvarez drags it to Oberton. There's some of that skill that you were talking about earlier to even get that one away and even offer a chance for Joel Johnson to give chase. quite work out for them in the end, but that's the guy you want to get the ball to, especially in moments like that where you're switching ends of the pitch. Got some playmakers running the other way at your behest. It's just about feeding them and putting them in the right spot to get some strikes on net. That's exactly what this team is. Matt Glazer said that this Independence side is a fantastic team, super athletic. So they're one of the most athletic teams in the league in his opinion. They're great in duels and transition. So we need to keep this from becoming a track meet. Some jostling there between Boyce and I believe Spielman, and now Oberton goes down. And we're gonna get our first booking of the evening.
Yeah, quite rightly so. It wasn't just a little tug, it was a constant pull on the back of Gabriel Oberton. Clearly they see him as a threat as well, do forward Madison, but you want to hold him up without giving a yellow card away, especially that far in your opponent's half. It's not really a threat. He's not going to out sprint you. Now you're in a situation where you're going to tread so carefully, does Villalobos.
Just a second yellow card in league play this season, Jimmy Villalobos. The Californian, 29 years old. Ooh. That was a chunky collision there at the top of the 18. Looks like that's Joel Johnson and John Murphy Jr. Fans, get yourself the latest Forward Madison merch online or at the Flamboyance team store at Breese Stevens Field. You can see some of the many different pieces of apparel right there from some of the fans in the flock end as they watch on this Wednesday evening during Oktoberfest. I believe they're doing a couple of Oktoberfest themed festivities around Breese Stevens Field this evening. It's always a good time though with the Mingo faithful here in Madison. The head full of speed. Here come the Mingos once again. Payne out to Gebhard. Gebhard trying to cut inside. Pass out to Murphy. Boyce winds up a shot and it skips into the arms of Austin Pack.
Yeah, the idea was good. Just didn't have much pace on it. Did it bounced a few times, so was never going to trouble Austin Pack too much. But like the idea from Devin Boyce, just going to keep trying until you actually catch one really well.
That's been a couple moments now that Madison have found a window, just haven't knocked the door down yet. At this Madison team, Mike Jeffries called them always super organized and very, very good in possession. He also mentioned and acknowledged that the one difference between this year and last year is that they've gotten much better at pressing. Johnson pops that one up for Shipman to claim. He's not had a lot to do in the recent stretches of this match. Mike Jeffries called this Madison side one of the most improved teams this year, especially now that they've got more attacking players to go win them some games. More talent up top than they've had in previous years with the addition of Juan Galindrez, the more recent acquisition of Garrett McLaughlin, whom is on the bench and imagine under most circumstances would find his way onto the pitch at some point tonight.
That's why these two teams are favorites to win the league, I would guess, because they've got depth as well. Players that you can rotate, you can bring them in. You will pick up injuries in a season. You do need to rest players, and you need quality coming off the bench. And both these teams can bring on really good players second half.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you got to have more than just 11 good players. That's for certain.
Oh, look at Dustin Correa, who scored last match. What a fantastic play he looks like. Colton Belmar, of course. Kazumboyu, who got dropped to the bench. Hugh Roberts. I mean, that is quality for Charlotte Independence on their bench. If you have a look at the other bench forward, Madison, and we've also got some really good players. Wolfgang Prentice, the former Oakland Roots player. You mentioned Garrett McLaughlin, how good he is up front. Michael Chilaka in defense. They've got some depth as well.
Got to have enough players for the long haul, not only as backup options during a game, but also throughout the season. I mean, you're not going to have the same 11 players starting throughout the year, whether it be, as you mentioned, due to injuries, but also just sometimes for matchups. Sometimes one player is a better fit than another, and if you have the options to switch players out, then you're already putting yourself in a better spot to compete.
You've got the Jägermeister Cup as well. That's a new event. That's a whole bunch of extra games, so you do have to rotate a lot more than you probably would have in years gone by.
Cheney has some options moving forward with him. He finds Galindrez. One-on-one with Dimmick at the moment. Galindrez takes the shot himself. Headed away by JJ. Now the Jacks will push up the pitch for Alvarez. Keeps it in bounds, but the expense of possession. Mitch Osman will head it over to Jacob Kroll, and they'll settle things down once again. Shipman distributes it over to Derek Gebhardt. I talked to Matt Glazer a little bit about this and about the perspective of a goalkeeper and how they view the game. I had to talk to him as a former goalkeeper coach, or former goalkeeper himself, former goalkeeper coach. You, Gary, former goalkeeper yourself, so felt like it was an apt time to talk a little bit about just how a goalkeeper sees the game versus any other field player. And he said maybe in years past, they could have a slightly different perspective, but they get to see the whole picture the entire time. 99% of the game is in front of them. Preferably 100% of the game is in front of them if you were really wanted to look at it that way. But in the modern game, the goalkeeper has to be like an 11th player out there on the pitch in many instances and helping the build-up and help maintain the structure defensively. And so perhaps nowadays the line between how a goalkeeper views playing the game versus how any other field player plays the game is probably getting a bit more blurred than it would have, say, 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I think as a keeper, you've got an extra function now, which is exactly what you're seeing from Austin Pack. You're almost a third centre-back, a deep-lying centre-back, sweeper keeper, if you like. But back in the day, we'd come out and sweep on the edge of the box and just boot it clear. Now they don't. They control the ball. They want to bring in their full-backs. They take risks by coming a long way off their line. Sometimes the risks are too great. Doing a match last week with Las Vegas Lights, their goalkeeper, Rosarina, came way off his line, 40 yards. They lost possession on the halfway line. Long effort from Ben Morris of Detroit, back of the net. So, yes, you want to play that third centre-back, but only when it's on, and conservatively would be my thoughts.
Gebhardt played inside, tried to sneak that one to Galindrez, and Austin Pack will take his time to pick it up. And there's definitely differing opinions on just how much the goalkeeper should be involved, but I think every one of them at one point in time has had a moment where their heart goes up to their throat because maybe they bit off a little more than they could chew. Here's a moment right here. Gebhardt takes the shot himself, but couldn't quite pick a side. Austin Pack didn't have to shift for that one.
Well, it's exactly on cue. As you're talking about making those errors, Austin Pack just plays the ball out here, doesn't get anywhere near where he wants it to go, and gets picked off by Gebhardt, who wants to bend it around. In the end, Austin Pack's delighted that it ends up being an easy one, puts his hand up straight away. Look, that's not as dangerous when the ball gets cut off 35 yards out. When it gets cut off 15 yards out, edge of the box, that's when you're in trouble. So for me, I think the goalkeeper can play the extra role, but just carefully, that's all. Just be conservative. Your job ultimately is to stop goals and not give them away.
Obregon steps inside, finds Oberton. Now Njai juggles that one down, then plays it out wide. Got Oberton here along the sideline now, gives it to Omar Sis. Check that, that's Anton Sorensen.
cheaply given away there by Charlotte Independence. You've done a lot of work to get the ball, building an attack, a wayward pass, and then now you've got to work so hard to get it back. Holding on to possession is extremely important. Notice also Charlotte Independence, they're not a high press team. I think Mike Jeffrey is alluding to that fact when we chatted as well. You can see they sit more in a mid-block. They let you come onto them. They're not going to go chasing you on the edge of your box. Whereas I think you see Ford Madison do a little bit more of the high pressing.
Madison also definitely a team that likes to have the possession, enjoy having the ball in the opponent's half. We'll look to enjoy some of it here. They're very successful doing it that way, and Jai feeds it for Obregon. Here's Oberton, taps it out wide. Sorensen will go dashing forward while Oberton has the ball at his behest. Sorensen thought Oberton was going to continue his run, but instead passes that one out aimlessly.
Maybe Oberton 10 years ago would have made that run. I think for 35, he's probably reserving his energy, but there he was used very nicely. That he's so good on the ball, his little touches. You know, maybe he's not going to make the runs, but if I was playing alongside him, I'd be constantly giving him the ball and making runs for him. He's more the distributor and creator. But I love, if you're watching as a student of football, just to watch his ability to control the ball, these little touches and layoff passes are almost effortless at times.
Osman sends that one over to Stephen Payne. Now Kroll sends that one up to Derek Gebhard. How can he keep it in play, Gebhard? No, he was not successful. Goal kick for Charlotte. Gave it his best, but couldn't quite keep it in bounds. Vance Bear Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ford Madison FC, is based in Madison and has provided protection and peace of mind to businesses and individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin since 1928. It's quite a long time, Gary.
Certainly is. What, they are 4 years away from their century?
Yeah. Absolutely. Minutes through, still deadlocked and scoreless between these two sides. Madison and Charlotte both vying for the top of the table. As it stands right now, should this result hold, it would be the Independents sitting alone in first place. Alvarez taking it forward, couldn't connect with Obregon. He had him there making that run down the left-hand side.
Did so well there, Luis Alvarez. Fantastic tackle to win the ball, a real direct run, and I felt he could have maybe held on to it a bit longer, draw the defenders in and then lay it off. Did brilliantly up until that moment and then lost possession.
Alvarez, 21 years old, from Honduras, scored in the last game. It was the opening goal against Greenville. Murphy.
By the way, that Alvarez goal was a good one last match, wasn't it? Bent
Yeah.
that right into the corner. But he had that run. He ran first, the same way he ran there. He must do that more often. He's so good and so quick.
Here's Kroll. Kroll trying to rifle it in, but once again, it's Ryan JJ closing it out.
Good little 1-2 there by Ford Madison. Nice build-up on that left-hand side. and nearly resulted in an effort on target. Kroll there plays it and goes. Beautiful ball in there from Gebhardt, as you quite rightly say. Fantastic defending to stop that shot coming in.
I'd like to re-emphasize, Ryan JJ came in to play as a midfielder for Mike Jeffries. They gave him a go at center back a couple of games ago. They've collected 2 clean sheets since then, and they've thought, all right, well, let's not mess with this. Let's keep him in there, and he's proving exactly why it's been working. Boyce with the corner kick. This one still on the fray, and a player goes down. And it'll be a free kick for Charlotte.
Referee saying I think there was a tug or a pull, and Christian Cheney not happy with the decision, debating it. Always difficult to tell in the middle of so many players. Have a look there to the right. Is there a pull? Well, I tell you what, I think that's more one Obregon Jr. having the pull, if anything. They'd be lucky to get away with that, Charlotte.
Oberton, oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Stephen Payne took one to the gut from Gabriel Oberton. He may not have the pace that he had 10 years ago, Gary, but boy, can he still rocket that ball when he puts his laces through it.
It's right into those areas that hurt a lot. So he's going to take a while to recover from that one. It's interesting, it's 0-0 at this stage. I remember the cup match with Charlotte Independence when they're up against Rhode Island. It was a 4-4 draw. And I'm sure Coach Matt Glazer won't want to be seeing Charlotte score 4 goals against his side as he waits for Payne to get back up. But 4 goals in that match, and Charlotte Independence were scoring goals from all sorts of angles and all sorts of situations. Haven't quite seen them create much. Very dissimilar to that cup match. Maybe more online for them in terms of this is a top of the table clash. They don't want to give anything away.
Both sides proving sturdy thus far. Here's a look at the bullet he just took for his team a moment ago. After that, Stevens in pain, taking that shot. But he's back up on his feet, walking it off. Never comfortable, but it's a moment where as a defender, you take some pride in being able to get in the way of a shot and keep it from reaching your goalkeeper.
There's an appreciation from the rest of your team. There's also the occasional giggle from the rest of your team because they know how painful that is, but it is part of the job of being a defender. In fact, it's part of the job. Anybody comes back in defense, even as a striker. You've got to put your body on the line, same as those who line up in a wall. If you're not prepared to take the hits in a physical game like soccer, then maybe you shouldn't be in the game because it's part and parcel of it.
Whistle from our head official, Rafael Santos, gives the visitors the ball once again. The USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams across the country begin play on August 17th, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. Should be a lot of fun. Charlotte Independence with their own side in it, though they're under the name the Carolina Ascent. Excited to see that league get going. Another big corner of the ever-growing USL pyramid. The W League getting started a couple years ago, now venturing into the professional ranks. Sits. Play this one out, Oberton. Going back far, tried to play that one forward, but didn't actually travel that much distance. Now Spielman will give it a crack. drumming and chanting from the flock end, trying to propel their side. Watching them on the defensive end at the moment. Been a pretty stingy game thus far.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? A bit like a chess match. You know, neither team is really taking too many chances forward. Madison closing down here, not allowing Oberton too much time on the ball. As I say, that he does get time on the ball.
Alvarez sprays it out wide to Dimmick. Both defensive sides, a lock that the other team is trying to pick. Two teams that can be pretty stubborn on this end of things, but here's Oberton. Oberton plays it back to Alvarez! Margins off target.
What a lovely ball from Gabriel Oberton, and Alvarez was not far away with that strike, but this is where Oberton needs to be used. This little flick there with the outside of the foot. Perfect direction, perfect weighting for Luis Alvarez, and he is literally only inches as it just bends away from that far post. I think it starts off in the right position, and then it just bends away at the end, and that had Shipman scrambling across the goals.
Alvarez scoring in a game. We've already talked about how great a goal it was in a celebration. He immediately pointed to Dave Carton, one of the assistant coaches who's been with Charlotte since 2019, who works primarily in player development. Those two have been working together closely, so cool for them to share that moment after that goal. Alvarez with 3 goals in both competitions this year in league play and Jägermeister Cup play, to be precise. Out wide to Gebhard. Gets back up on his feet quickly after tripping over Luis Alvarez. Gebhard gets pushed from behind, and another free kick opportunity for the Mingos.
Luis Alvarez has got to be careful there. Understand the frustration, but you've already tripped him once and he got back up. You know you can't do it again. Even the faintest of touches. See, there he goes down. It would have been a free kick. Now you've got to be careful. Just hold him up, and instead he tries to bite here. There he goes in. Makes contact with the player first, and tell you what, probably lucky not to get a yellow card just for continuous infringement.
Now, the moment that first contact happens, you know the eyes are on you, and everyone's paying attention to what you do next.
And that's why Gebhard's probably clever, is that having gone down once and got up, he knows that any bump from Alvarez will be a free kick.
And Boyce gives this one a go. It slipped through the wall, but lost its bite in the process. And out it'll go. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Stephen Payne trying to shake off Joel Johnson. The easiest of tasks, though. They'll retreat and prod forward once again. Madison having enjoyed more of the ball as far as inside the opponent's territory. Either side with anything to show for it yet on the score sheet.
Not even really in terms of great chances. Both have had a couple of half chances, but nothing really for either goalkeeper to worry too much about. Austin Pack, nothing really for him to do. 1 or 2 straight shots at him. Same for Shipman. He's watched 1 or 2 fly by, but neither goalkeeper really getting much of a sweat so far.
Devin Boyce looking to change that as he passes it to Galindrez. Now Villalobos to Cheney. Not a lot of airspace. Gebhard tries to shoot. Falls back out to Boyce. Devin Boyce shoots. And it's straight down the middle once again. Austin Pack doesn't have to move too much to get to it. I would add a little bit more pace to it, though.
Yeah, that was a better shot. Just wasn't wide enough for the goalkeeper to cause the keeper too many problems, but Austin Pack had to get down, had to hold on to the ball. Wasn't necessarily easy to hold on to. Good save from the keeper, but much better there from Devon Boyce.
Will Charlotte respond with a punch of their own? Mitch Osman throwing off Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. Now a free kick for the Independents. Haven't had many set piece opportunities. As a matter of fact, I think this is the first one they've had this entire game. It'll be Sorensen and Alvarez sitting behind that one. Yeah, at this point in the game, Madison with all the corner kicks. Sorensen rolls it short. Johnson sneaks it back inside for Alvarez. A clever little design. He was looking to give it one extra pass. He had one or two jerseys sitting inside the 6-yard box.
Wow, that nearly came off. What a clever free kick that was. Beautiful ball played in. Initially, he gets it back, Luis Alvarez, and I'm just thinking that final pass into the box, that's the crucial one. He just couldn't find a white shirt, but well rehearsed, no doubt. Fantastic execution. Oh,
Awkward interaction there between the back line and Shipman, but doesn't result in any danger.
very lucky, Burn Shipman, that it didn't, because they were all over the place there. Juan Obregon Jr. not able to pounce. Have a look at this collision between goalkeeper and centre backer. That drops to Juan Obregon Jr. It's an open goal, and Osman just bailing out his goalkeeper.
Boyce plays this up ahead. And deflects out for another Madison corner kick. Mentioned it moments ago. This will be their 5th corner of the evening to Charlotte's none, and this looks like it may be our last action of the first half. Can it beat Wealth Management? Corner kick. Gebhardt brings this one down on the other end. Whistle could blow any moment. So Gebhardt really needs to prioritize lobbing this one back into the 18 if he can. And that'll be the end of it. All deadlocked after 45 plus here. Both sides will go to the break, do some deliberating, and figure out what it's gonna take to find all 3 points, to find the back of the net in the second half. It is 0-0 between the Mingos and the Charlotte Independents. With that in mind, we're gonna step aside. When we come back, we'll have some halftime content for you here on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. 0-0 after 45 between these two sides. We'll see you after this break.
Tomorrow, we've been expecting you. At TrueStage, we've been preparing for tomorrow for almost a century, helping businesses give their customers, members, and clients what they need to move forward with confidence. Because for us, the future brings possibility, protection, innovation, growth. With financial solutions across insurance, investments, and technology, the people you serve can take on tomorrow, today. So what are you waiting for? Tomorrow, here we come.
It's an S.
Oh, not bad. My name is John Murphy.
Pausani Ferry Sosa.
Soy Juan Galindre.
I'm Devin Boyce.
I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know?
I can juggle. Just it.
Ta, 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 ta. Justicia.
Justice.
Justice. Justice.
Justice from the ground out. Justice from the ground out.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget. And 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
Scoreless at the half here between Ford, Madison, and the Charlotte Independents. It's the Just Coffee Co-op halftime show. My name is Mark Schoenster, but you're not going to be hearing my voice after this because we have got the highlights from Week 16. Here are the sights and sounds for you.
Youth. Flicked along to Lancaster. Oh, that's a stunner! Brilliant ball through. Youth doubles the lead. Lexington's caught fire on the break. And a 2-0 advantage before intermission. Progressive ball, driving effort, and a third for Lexington. Christian Liu Young on the score sheet. Charging through, he lays it off. It's an empty net, and Overton pulls one back. Much needed for the Jacks before the break. Sorensen. First time cross, it's into the danger area, and Charlotte has life. The Jacks have snatched one back. And Bouillou. Weaving inside, it's loose. Obregon, it's over the line. Charlotte's level. And it's that man who leads the league in scoring with the stunner.
Lineup. Water steps back, cross into the 6-yard box, a header! And that one's in for Fuego! It's Denbor Benson with the header. 14 World Cup, Pedro Hernandez running, shot deflected, into the back of the net! Well, that's one way to do it if you're Pedro Hernandez. Entered on the ground, in, and Central Valley takes the lead! What a huge goal by Jose Guerrera Garcia!
Looping ball in, headed back by Norte. Off the bicycle, what an effort, what a goal! How about the opening goal right there from Juan Galindres? Well done, Gallardo. Dos Santos diving, what a goal! Steven Dos Santos goes Superman and gets an equalizer in the 63rd minute. Shiner ball in, beautiful ball, Dolabella adds another to the scoreboard. Pedro Dolabella. Prentice chips it on, a chance here, and roofed in. An equalizer in stoppage time for Fort Madison. It's the former Owl, Jake Kroll. Real Gill centers for Rendon. Rendon tries to center up and scores! Vignoles. Neil Vignoles steps up, tries to take a shot and a goal! We're level at 1! Neil Vignoles steps up to the plate and slots that one in. They deflect off of Ani, but it's up for grabs now. It's Northern Colorado into the center area, scores! 2 goals for Noco, and Ethan Horde gets his 7th of the year. Marty Hernandez comes across. Jara steps up, and that's the finishing nail for Northern Colorado. Noah Powder gets the 3rd. Out by Lodge. Shot from range, and it finds Peters. What a hit! The hometown hero hammers through and delivers the lead for Tormenta. All the way wide. Back into the box, Fonseca! Here's a shot. Rebound to Miller. Andre Miller squaring, and that's a goal back. Louis Heel. That's a good ball, well weighted. Josh Doling has a go and guides his side back to level ground. Box from Daniel Steedman. It's a great ball, and it's an even better hit. Jake Dangler arrows it in. Oh, what a
cut back from him. Josh Doling into the box and bouncing in.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Maybe drowning every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Deciding to go right up through the middle. A shot. Wow! Masango Akali. Long range shot from Nordy. Stopped, and that one trickles in.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
It's an S.
On that bad. My name is John Murphy.
Pausani Ferry Sosa.
Soy Juan Galindre. I'm Devin Boyce.
I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know?
I can juggle. Justin. Da, 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 da. Justicia.
Justice.
Justice. Justice. Justice from the ground. Justice from the ground up.
Welcome back to the Just Coffee Co-op halftime show. 0-0 between the Mingos and the Jacks here after 45 minutes. Mark Schoenster with you as we take a peek at some of the prevailing notes around the USL. Starting off with, of course, the big news is the Super League. It is here. It is on this weekend. You've got Lexington, you've got Spokane, you've got Carolina. Sent some of the League One adjacent clubs that will be taking the pitch and competing in the inaugural year. Meanwhile, futures and big opportunities arising across the league, including Lexington announcing that next season they're going to be going up to the USL Championship alongside their brand new stadium that is on the brink of completion. And we also have some other great stadium news upcoming here in USL League One as the league continues to grow. Here's your upcoming schedule brought to you by Electric Bikes. It's a weird week in USL League One schedule-wise. 3 games on Friday, just 1 on Saturday. So the question won't be about what you're going to watch on Saturday. It's going to be about which game you're going to tune into Friday night. Some good clashes, good matchups. I'll shamelessly promote Greenville Triumph and the Richmond Kickers. Hopefully we'll see you there on ESPN+. And then here's our team of the week from week 16. You saw the highlights and you saw why Andre Lewis has earned his spot as the player of the week. And you see just how many Spokane Velocity players are on that one. I'll say, where are the Tormenta players? They were in that 3-3 game as well. I don't know where they're at. And you got Alfredo Midense, who is now currently in the league with 6 assists in league play. But with that, we're going to step aside. We've got the first half highlights, the first half stats, and most importantly, the second half coming your way after this break on the Golazo Network.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person, with new vehicles arriving every day. Your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
best.
But not bad. My name is John Murphy.
Pausani Ferry Sosa.
Soy Juan Galindre. I'm Devin Boyce.
I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know?
I can juggle. Justin. Justicia.
Justice.
Justice. Justice. Justice from the ground. Justice from the ground up.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget. And 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Fans having a good time here at Breese Stevens Field, and more good times to be had here in just a moment as we wrap up the Just Coffee Co-op halftime show. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of action between Forward Madison and the Charlotte Independents. Mark Schoenster and Gary Bailey with you here on the Golazo Network. First up, a chance for Devin Boyce to strike on goal.
Yeah, Gebhardt doing well here just to sort of create the opportunity, go at the defense. Shot's not a bad one. It forces Austin Pack to get down, get his hands behind the ball, but not too much pressure. And then we were just waiting for something to happen. In the end, Austin Pack tries to play it out of defense here. Gebhardt jumps on this, gets it into the box here, tries to bend it around the keeper. Doesn't quite come off, goes straight into Austin Pack's hands. And again, not much happening at either end of the pitch. And then just before halftime here, a lovely little ball, Alvarez to Oberton. Oberton plays it back, and that is so close to going into the far corner. That, for me, was the move of the match so far.
Those highlights brought to you by Just Coffee Co-op. Meanwhile, here are your stats from halftime, brought to you by Rhyme. Heavy doses of possession, for Forward Madison. And it's resulted in a couple more shots on target. But we were talking during the break that it hasn't really broken into real genuine opportunities from Matt Glazer's side.
Yeah, most of those shots were straight at Austin Pack, easy for him to save. So I think both teams playing within themselves, being careful, being defensive. Hopefully it opens up now in the second half.
We'll see if some wear and tear on the legs, if some personnel changes, such as the one that we're seeing on the pitch right now, maybe end up being the difference makers in this game. Carlton Belmont returning from injury. It looks like he's going to have a whole 45 minutes ahead of him. I'll confirm any of these changes with you once we receive them. As we get back into the fray of things here for Breese Stevens Field. It's scoreless now. Will it be that way after 45 more minutes?
I'm scanning for Gabriel Oberton. I can't see him, so maybe they've decided he didn't impact the game enough. And it looks like he might be the one who has gone off for Carlton Belmont. Yep, it is.
So Oberton, the veteran Frenchman, is out. And Carlton Belmont slots in his place. 31 years old himself, so a player who's seen his fair share of the sport. Boyce is in the corner. Somehow gets that one away despite being double teamed. And now it's Obregon. Rips that one ahead for Joel Johnson. Now the question will be exactly how that shapes up Charlotte Independence. Perhaps Alvarez will slip in the middle and let Belmar go out wide. See how they shape up as this game goes on, but I believe that would be the most likely of tweaks positionally from Mike Jeffrey's side.
He's also a big target man, Carlton Belmar, well over 6 foot, so you can get him into the box, get crosses in, set pieces. Maybe that's another way to get a goal and to break down Forward Madison.
It's always a way to find a goal in a game like this where neither team is letting up a lot, but any given dead ball situation can be an opportunity to score if you execute just right.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And first half, Forward Madison had a whole bunch of corners. What was it, 5 or thereabouts?
Roughly 5,
Didn't get anything from it. You got to look at their big guys, Mitch Osman, Timmy Mellon, say, well, all those sort of balls into danger areas, you got to get something back, even if it's not a goal, it's a scramble, it's a great save by the goalkeeper, Austin Pack, but they didn't really use those corners to good use at all. In fact, if we look at the expected goals for those who enjoy the sort of scientific measurement of how well a team should be doing, the expected goals for the home side 0.3, which is not much, you know, it's not even half a goal. But for Charlotte Independence, 0.09, which means you really haven't tested the goalkeeper. One shot for Luis Alvarez that just went past Shipman's far post. And that, I think, would bother somebody like Mike Jeffries, and maybe that's why he made the change. Just felt that Overton was an impact in the game, and he needs to get his forwards into this match if they're to get the much-needed goal.
Shaney brings this one back to Villalobos. Now it's Devin Boyce. This half picking up right where it left off with Madison having the ball, trying to prod this middle to low block for the Charlotte Independents. Meanwhile, the Jacks are just waiting for that opportunity, for that avenue to pounce on a pass and break ahead with some pace. Boyce. Sifting ball inside, looking for Cheney. Check that, Juan Galindra the one who's there. And the decision is a goal kick, Juan Galindra. The rest of his side believing it came off JJ last. See if him or Christian Cheney can be the author of the moment in this game for the home side.
You do feel it's going to take one goal just to sort of break the deadlock, and then teams have the opposition, whoever's 1-0 down, has to open up, has to come at them, and then we could really start to see action at both ends. But all the time it's 0-0. No one wants to give away that crucial goal. It's more defense-minded than attack-minded. So come on, let's hope for one goal and see this game open up.
A lot of those fellow teams near the top of the table, the fans of those sides won't be complaining with the way the result is now. 2 points total between the two teams. Better than one of them claiming 3 of them. The likes of Union Omaha, who don't even play this weekend, already have a game in hand, and they'll even be further cushioned in that regard once the action of this week has transpired. None of these teams playing on the weekend themselves, so we'll get about a roughly 10-day gap between this match and their next. Dimmitt pops this one inside. Belmore saved. Bert Shipman sprawling out for that one.
That's exactly why the change was made. We spoke about him being a big target man. What a cross that was from Dimmitt, by the way. And it was a very good header from Carlton Belmore. I think you have to give the goalkeeper credit for the save. Ball goes out wide here, whipped in straight away, but look at the header. Forces a keeper to a really good save. Down low with his left hand, Bernd Shipman. Really, really top-class effort from the goalkeeper for Forward Madison.
From Munster, Germany, during Oktoberfest, Bernd Shipman with the display of his prowess there. And with that effort, this game is still scoreless, but a clear chance. Something we didn't see too many of in the first half. And that's the first time a clear chance has asked either keeper to really dig into their bag of wiles.
Yeah, really, really good header. Fantastic save. Lovely ball in from Clay Dimmitt. The moment of the match, as you say, first real top quality from 2 top quality sides. First time that one of them's come up with something special. And again, to Mike Jeffries, he's made the change and he's got an effect within 6 minutes.
Now here's Galindra. Galindra wipes out for a moment, still tussling. He's persistent, Juan Galindres. Back to Gebhard. And now that moment has passed. You said it, Gary. Two top teams as Alvarez smelled some blood there. And after that challenge from Murphy, it'll be a free kick for the Independents. We touched base on it in the first half. The league is only getting better as John Murphy collects his 6th yellow card of the season.
There's some loose play here. Firstly, Mel just knocks that one into space. Murphy just goes for the ball when maybe he should stay on his feet, because once you're on the ground with your foot stretched out like this, you bring someone down, you're going to get in the book. That's Murphy now and Villalobos both on yellow cards. And those are two of your main defensive midfielders for forward Madison. So both going to have to be very, very careful with all their future tackles from now on.
And now you wonder if it's now a spot where Charlotte could probably thrive right there in the middle of the pitch. Knowing those two have to practice some caution.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. If you're in the midfield for Charlotte, you're thinking wherever those two are, I'm running at them, because they have to be careful. They can't pull me, they can't bring me down. And if they do, they run the risk, of course, of a second yellow. So from a football IQ point of view, you would absolutely target Murphy and Villalobos if you're Charlotte Independence midfielder.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 in the new Sirius XM app, as this one's lobbed inside. It was a little awkward for Shipman, but he doesn't mind awkward as long as the job's done.
Big boot down the pitch to Christian Cheney, but it's nowhere near the big number 9, so easily cleaned up by Charlotte.
It's Bashir and Jai. Roll that one back for Spielman. It's the Independents out the gates of this second half now, making themselves more acquainted with Bert Shipman. Boyce trying to keep things going as a player rolls down to the turf. Villalobos tumbling there. Tightly contested affair between two teams atop the tight table. As Alvarez loses his footing. He got clipped by Kroll. Cards are starting to come out now.
It's a free kick in a dangerous area once again. Edge of the box, it's shooting territory. Alvarez has that pace, has that ability to worry defenders. Have a look at it again. Nice little turn here. Ball through from Juan Obregon Jr. Don't see much though, do you? Maybe there's a slight coming together. You can see why defenders are annoyed about that free kick, because it's not an obvious one and it's in a very dangerous position.
Had a wonderfully drawn up set piece from well further out there in the first half. Now we'll see if they've got something for a little bit tighter quarters.
Referee Rafael Santos saying you can cover your face, you can cover one other very important area, but other than that, any hand on the ball will be probably a penalty.
Here's Johnson. Couldn't get that one to dip. At least not enough.
Yeah, the idea was good. As you say, if you're going to get it over, you've got to then get it to dip down. And the dip came eventually, but way too late. I'm more of a fan of going straight at the goalkeeper, dipping it in front of him on the ground, and then sending in 2 or 3 players to follow up, because as a goalkeeper, I know how difficult that can be when it bounces in front of you, and you know you have to hold on to it, as opposed to just ballooning it over the crossbar 9 times out of 10, which is generally what happens from free kicks.
day. Nothing there for the Jacks from that set piece, as this one falls to Obregon. And now the whistle blows and Obregon pleads his case, but it is Mitch Osmond who gets the favor of the whistle on this occasion.
We're not far away now from the time when most coaches start making a whole bunch of changes, and just looking at Ford Madison, they are the home side. They really have to be the ones pushing for a win. So Garrett McLaughlin could be a shout, Wolfgang Prentice. Expect to see either of those, maybe both, in the next 10 minutes or so. And I'm very excited to see Dustin Correa got the winning goal for Charlotte against Greenville last match out. He looked like a fantastic player, so hopefully we get to see him come on the pitch in the next sort of 10-15 minutes time.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the depth with Matt Glazer and his side. He said he's not afraid to rotate because this is a Madison team that has depth unlike they've had in years past. It's really nice to have options as a coach for each individual matchup, as Mel passes this one back to Shipman. He'll boot this one out of any sort of danger. When it comes to competing for those spots, sessions can be very intense, and it's not just for the starting 11, but even just to make it on the 18. Mentioned, but this is what they've been building towards. This is the third year of the Matt Glazer era in Madison, Wisconsin, and each year they have gotten just a little bit deeper, a little bit more quality. You bring in guys like that, Devin Boyce, gonna take another step forward. They brought in several difference makers between year 1 and year 2, and then now between year 2 and year 3. A little push from Obregon, and that'll be that there for Charlotte. Stephen Payne took a shot from Gabriel Oberton in the first half of action.
You mentioned Oberton now, just thinking back, if you're considered one of the most creative, one of the best players, you get 45 minutes, you don't really impact the game, you get taken off. It doesn't look good for Gabriel Oberton going forward in a very talented squad. He needs to make a bigger impact. It's all fine and well to say he played at the highest level, but you've got to bring something of that level here onto the game, which he really didn't do in those 45 minutes that he had.
And Jai putting in the work to try to keep that play alive. More of a holding midfielder, but making the run there as Obregon, excuse me, brings it down, takes a tumble. The ref says absolutely no way. As a matter of fact, the ball hasn't even gone out yet. Obregon wins the first corner kick of the evening for the Independents. And what was a bit of a hectic moment there.
Just saying, with Jake Kroll on the one side, just gives the ball away, goes for a switch of play, plays it straight to one Obregon Jr. across his box. Dangerous pass to even try, and it didn't come off. So I think Jake Kroll probably the most relieved that that wasn't a penalty and nothing came from his poor pass.
Still make them pay for it here, though, Charlotte. 2/3 of the way through this game. What can they do with their first corner kick? Brought back in the fray by Spielman. He gives it another try, and now it's cleared away.
Well, that's a better corner from Ford Madison, simply because they got something at the end of it. A ball knocked back into the danger area. Could have, with a bit of luck, got a deflection or drop for one of the Madison players. And that's, I think, was the 7th corner now, and that's the first one where they've really done well. Free at the far post as well, Nick Spielman. That's a, sorry, for Charlotte, not for Ford Madison. It's Ford Madison who didn't defend it, but it's Charlotte who had the corner and got something from it. So it's got mixed up there for a moment, but allowed free at the back post, Nick Spielman. Got to do better than that, Ford Madison, when you're defending.
6 feet tall, Nick Spielman. He's not exactly a guy who can sneak up on you.
No.
John Murphy back up on his feet. They're taken to ground. Shipman been a little bit more involved in the game here in the second half. Of course, not to his liking, but he's had to make a couple more plays than he did in the first 45 minutes. Independence cranked it up a couple of notches here in the second half. Some of these adjustments really doing them well. Alvarez with some real estate. Alvarez tries to bend it. Just wide.
Wasn't far wide, was it? It was bending in. Look, Shipman was there. He got across the goal, so maybe he makes a save. But Alvarez, nobody comes out to slow him down. He can run all the way near the edge of the box. It's probably a foot wide in the end, and I think Shipman had it covered, but not far away at all.
It's been the Independents asking all the questions here in the second half so far. And the response going to be necessary from Matt Glazer's side, and he's starting to ready the personnel changes in that regard as Anton Sorensen is down on the ground.
Just wondering if Christian Cheney will be the player to come off there for forward Madison. Maybe they need fresh legs, quicker legs up front. We will wait and see what coach Matt Glazer decides.
Stephen Payne. No substitutions yet, but some are on the horizon. For the home side, that is. Stephen Payne will throw it in just to the right of his head coach. Galindrez trying to get Cheney running, but a little awkward in his step, and now Johnson with Njai to his right. Challenge from Cheney, wins it back for the home team.
Well done, Christian Cheney, coming all the way back there, tracking and eventually winning a tackle. That's what you want from your forwards. You want them to be your first line of defense, and he did that brilliantly there, Christian Cheney.
You don't always get strikers, forwards who are willing to get their hands dirty on the defensive end, so got to appreciate it when a player is willing to do that for his team. Cheney thought about the volley there. It was going to be tough to get that one off, though. Villalobos to Cheney. Squares it to Stephen Payne. Back to Boyce. And that one will sail harmlessly well above the crossbar and out for a goal kick.
It came very quickly to Devin Boyce. He just had a snapshot. Normally a lot more accurate than that, but in those situations didn't have time to tee it up.
Alvarez going down. It'll be a free kick after some advantage was played there for the Jacks. Minutes through this game, and now we'll get some changes here. 3 of them for Matt Glazer's side, and the big one, number 12 coming into the game, looking to see if he can provide the spark to this forward Madison offense. Scored his first goal as a Mingo last time out. Garrett McLaughlin, longtime USL League One guy, played at first Toronto 2. Then made a name for himself at North Carolina FC, was part of that championship winning team last year. This, your Festival Foods substitution. He comes in for Juan Galindrez. Also see Michael Chilaka preparing to make his way onto the pitch. Chilaka, a defensive presence. And he goes in for the captain, Mitch Osmond. Also see Ferretti Sosa has made his way onto the pitch. The third of the 3 changes for Matt Glazer. So when he decided to make some switches, Gary, he's really dug into the bag and pulled out a couple of pretty quality players. Chilaka, 24 years old, McLaughlin, 26, but with a load of League One experience. And then for Eddie Sosa, 33 years old. Definitely has some savvy to him.
Yeah, well, they're the home side for Madison. They're a point behind in the league table. I think the sense is from Matt Glazer, we've got to win this one, and he's made the changes, which in his opinion is the best, gives them the best chance of winning. So credit to him for being positive, which I think a home team should be.
Sorensen doing some dancing with the ball, slips it through. Here's Belmar. Belmar shrugs off contact. He'll play it back up top, and Jai tried to let it fly. And he persists there, Bashir and Jai. Now Sis to Belmar. Came awfully close to finding a window, but the Jacks couldn't quite acquire it. Here's Alvarez. He sneaks that one through. Omar Sis may have been in an offside position, though, had he received it. There's Ferretti Sosa subbing in for Stephen Payne, excuse me. Fessel Sioux Food substitution. Pretty like for like there positionally. Trying to add some fresh energy to the home side here at Bree Stevens Field.
Yeah, fresh energy, fresh legs, fresh thinking, get the crowd fired up, get them behind the players. All these things benefit you when you're when you're playing at home, and that is what Matt Glazer is hoping he can get. But Garrett McLaughlin in particular looks really sharp, and if they can get him some service, let's see what he can do.
Get yourself the latest Ford Madison merch online or at the Flamboyance team store at Bree Stevens Field. You see some of the excellent tops that you could find. Jerseys, warm-up kits, goalkeeper jerseys, t-shirts, whatever you like. It's all pretty great stuff coming from Ford Madison. Villalobos sends Gebhard running. Gebhard keeps it in play. Here's Gebhard's service. Nearly connected with Boyce, and it may have just glanced off of him.
Wow, what a good ball in from Gebhard. It had pace, it was dipping into the box. Didn't give defenders much chance to sort of pick up the flight of the ball, and Boyce inches away from making that contact. Gebhard, a former Charlotte Independence player, going back a good few years. Would love to have had an assist there, and that was so close. Beautiful ball, whipped in at the near post.
Matt Glazer's made his adjustments, and now he's looking to see his team make the difference on the pitch. 20 minutes left to go in this one. Both sides still searching for what could, as this game wears on and on, may be the one and only goal that we might find in this game, unless things get really crazy as we get into the closing moments, which sometimes that can happen. McLaughlin keeps a hold of it there, and now there's a bevy of blue jerseys around the ball. Threading ball from Villalobos. Now Cheney hits it late back to him. And Cheney is going to want that effort back. And you can see he's amped up, and it actually appears like it took a deflection. And it'll be another corner kick in favor of Madison.
Well, sorry, I was going to say, he's in the top 10 goal scorers in the league, with 5 to his name. You see he's fired up. Is nice, that little touch. They bumped into each other, no aggro, bit of a hug. But he's really put. I thought he might come off, or they might have decided to bring fresh legs on, but I think they believe in his ability to score.
Here's the corner. Back up, then dealt with. You mentioned it, the first half, these corner kicks haven't really been sufficient for Madison, Gary, and there's another one there that left something to be desired.
Especially when you compare with the fact that Charlotte's only had just the one, is it, or two?
Just the one.
Just the one, and from that one, they got a player free at the far post. Spielman nearly created something.
And Cheney! He's denied. The offside flag goes up.
What a good finish. That's why he's devastated. Can't believe it. He thought that was the one. Let's just see if he is offside. Yeah, he's pumping up the crowd saying, come on, we're nearly there. But what a good header that was. Coach Matt Glazer doesn't agree, but the assistant ref on the touchline is in the best position to call it. Let's see what we can see from this here. Ball's going to be played in. Gebhardt. I don't see how he's offside. Well, it's possible he could be, but I thought he came and just beat Nick Spielman. No, there's no way he's offside. He's come from, well, come from an onside position, clearly. And if we could see that again, it's if you just have a look where he starts his run, it's not possible to be offside. Unless I'm missing something, unless somebody else is offside, and this is a push. That is very, very confusing.
The only other explanation is if was that it wasn't offside, but perhaps some contact.
Yes.
That would be the only other thing I could rationalize.
In fact, I think you're right there. It's not offside. I think they're saying that he got over the back of Nick Spielman, but I thought he won it fair and square.
We do have two changes for Charlotte. We see here Fabrice Nga comes on for Sorensen. And you've been talking about wanting to see Dustin Correa, asking you shall receive. As McLaughlin plays this one back. Here's Cheney. McLaughlin now. Back to Cheney, the dummy, and Murphy shoots. Austin Pack able to keep that one from going in.
Good play from Garrett McLaughlin, just creating things with Cheney on the edge of the box there. Head up, looking for options. Well dummied. Great awareness from Christian Cheney for players coming behind him, but contact, unfortunately, not a good contact. Positive play from the home side.
Things starting to get more nervy here for both sides as the opportunities are starting to sneak through. And it's been Madison who have been the authors of the past few chances. Started off with Charlotte here in the second half, and now the Mingos with their response. And it's still up for anyone to grab. And both of these teams have the quality to take just one moment, capitalize off of it. There's a reason they're both sitting near or at the top of the table. As it stands right now, the Jacks would maintain their first place spot should this result hold. But Sosa swings in across himself, it's headed away. And now Villalobos took a lash at that one, and now Pack keeps it in bounds after it deflected off of one of the members of his back line. All right, so we're gonna look back at that one more time, that goal that wasn't meant to be for Madison. Let's just keep our eye on number 9.
So he's not offside there. No way is he offside. Does he got now? I think there they feel that he impeded Nick Spielman. I don't see it. He jumps clean there, Christian Cheney. In fact, it's a fantastic jump. He goes out of his way not to impact Nick Spielman, and Spielman doesn't even complain. So if he's not offside and it's not a foul, then it might be something else, but I couldn't see it. And that's tough on forward Madison if that is an error. And again, referees have got to just see it in real time. We get slow-mos. Referees are never going to get everything right every single time. It's just not possible. I get it, as the rain pours down there. But if that is the case, then it's a tough call for forward Madison.
Another change for the home side as Sharif J is going to sub into the game. He'll step in for Villalobos, who's on a yellow card. Jay will come in, and that's a little extra offensive bite too, Sharif Jay. Maybe looking to be that little extra push to get them over the finish line. This Festival Foods substitution. Yeah, that's not going to do it for them.
It takes a yellow card off the pitch as well for forward Madison. Absolutely crucial for Villalobos.
Nga. It's returned back to him. A couple of one-touch passes for Charlotte as they get themselves out of the bind. Spielman. Bringing up for Obregon. Has been rather quiet here in the second half. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. Called for the free kick there. The USL League One is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Of course, you're watching on the Golazo Network as we speak here. Madison and Charlotte both trying to break through here. They've each had their waves of chances, and yet here we stand.
Yeah, that Carlton Belmore header and a fantastic save from Bernd Shipman just after half-time was the big moment for Charlotte. And of course, the disallowed goal by Christian Cheney. Big talking point for forward Madison.
Obregon trying to bring that one down, but instead it's Michael Chilaka who was able to get there first. Oh, nifty from Murphy. And now he's going to make the run, and he's got some space to work with. John Murphy with Cheney in the box. He looks for him. Trickles to the top of the 18. Madison have it back. Here's Boyce. Laying it out to Murphy. Here comes another cross. Gebhardt, the touch brings it down. Domingos knocking on the door. Here's a shot. That one had some promise to it. Couldn't quite put it on frame, though.
I think that was from Sharif Jay. Fantastic strike, deep, deep ball. Look at this touch there. Aha, absolutely wonderful from Gebhardt, but Jay's going to cut inside here, and when he hits it, for a second, you're thinking that's flying in the top corner, and it's just wide of the goal. Quality effort there from forward Madison.
That's just what they want to see out of Jay, being subbed into this match. Take that strike, make that chance. And Austin Pack will now take his time as we'll wait for action to resume here.
Yeah, Matt Glazer, Coach of the Month in USL 1 for June, and then of course Charlotte Independence coach Mike Jeffries for the next month of July. So two quality coaches getting recognition. And a whole number of players as well. Austin Pack, we saw him a moment ago, Player of the Month for April. Juan Obregon Jr., Player of the Month for June. So quality coaches, quality players on the pitch for this match, and yet we don't have a quality goal. We thought we did with Christian Cheney, but I think he's still complaining about it. He can't see what the problem is, and well, maybe it's just one of those things. Don't always get decisions go your way.
You just hope at the end of the year that it balances out, that you get some bad decisions that go against you, and you get some perhaps bad decisions that go in your favor as the year goes along.
Yeah, it generally does. So we just wonder if the rain will play a part in these last 10 minutes. Might find Charlotte are quite happy with the draw away from home. Keeps them ahead of forward Madison. Still got maybe Trezor and Boyu up their sleeve to make an impact.
Well, that's a change that would suggest that they're not entirely going to give up on this game. And Boyu, an offensive piece himself, hasn't had the goal contributions this year that he's had in years past for Mike Jeffries' side, but that could change in a moment. Mbuyu subs in. And it'll be Bashir and Jai who will exit. So Njai, more of a holding midfielder, though, has had his forays into the attacking third in this game. For Mbuyu, who is definitely an out-and-out offensive player. So both sides have thrown on some more attacking pieces, seeing if they can push the needle just a little bit.
Again, credit to both managers. I thought Charlotte might have just locked in a draw, but you're right, they're going to go for it, and so too forward Madison with all their changes. And that's what you love to see in football. You want teams to push for the win and not just settle for a point.
Mel rolls this one over to Sosa. Sosa knifes this one inside for McLaughlin. Now it's Jay taking on Omar Sis and not finding much success with it. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. It's Dustin Correa. Haven't said his name much since he subbed into the match. It's mainly been Madison who have been on the prowl, at least as of late. With the Charlotte team, though, sometimes they can be withstanding pressure, and then they just squeak through one chance and they make you pay for it. They withstood a lot of pressure on the weekend against Greenville. And then it was Dustin Correa who was able to find the moment, the opportunity to secure all 3 points at home. Here's Gebhard. Devin Boyce. Sosa has a man running. It's Jay, excuse me. Spielman taps it out.
I just mentioned the name of Spielman. I think he's a very relieved player. He got beat, I thought, fairly and squarely for that header by Christian Cheney. Disallowed. The centre-back delighted probably to hear that whistle.
And more firepower out for Madison as Derek Gebhard takes lead for Wolfgang Prentice, who has really come into his own as of late. He's now tied for third in the league with 4 assists. This is a guy who's only started 2 games this season. He's played under 400 minutes in league matches. But he's really turned into an impact substitution for Matt Glazer. So 5 more minutes plus whatever time is tacked on by Rafael Santos and his crew.
I go back to that Carlton Belmar header just after half-time. Great cross in from Clay Dimmick. We haven't seen another cross into the box since then from Charlotte Independence. Now, it hasn't been easy because it's been a big midfield battle, but you would have thought they would, after that early success, they would have tried more crosses into the box for Belmar. Maybe credit for Madison for not allowing them down the flanks, like in that case there, just cutting off the ability to get down the lines and put crosses in.
Belmar plays it to Correa. Now it's Devin Boyce who has it back for the home team. Some pressure here from Charlotte trying to maybe force the issue a little bit with time running out in this game. Madison continue to dominate on the possession front. Around 60% still. much like where they were after 45 minutes.
If you have a look at the expected goals so far, it's 0.58 for the home side, 0.42 for the visitors. It's half a goal each, which I think sums up the match. They've each had one really good chance, one disallowed, one well saved by Shipman, the other one disallowed against Christian Cheney. Other than that, there hasn't been much to test either goalkeeper.
Nga slips this one inside. They connect with Mbuyu, but Bert Shipman was able to let it fall into his arms.
Wow, this is a good chance. What a ball in from Nga. Absolutely stunning. Gets it, he's just stretching Mbuyu, just barely gets a touch on it. If he could get a little bit more power on that, that could have been in the back of the net. Great ball in there from Nga.
Reece Nga was fishing for his second assist of the season. It would have been a beauty of an assist. As McLaughlin tried to wheel around Alvarez, but the forward-thinking player doing some defensive work. Boyce. Gets it over to Ferretti Sosa. And now here comes his service, headed away by Alvarez. Cheney with the juggle. Cheney tried to get cheeky with it, and he may have gotten stamped on there by JJ. Right at the top of the penalty area.
I think it's for a dangerous boot high is what the referee's saying. And he does, he comes in with stud showing to win the ball. Players are all complaining, but firstly, good ball in here. Have a look at this, whipped in from Sosa. Very good. Some great defending. Now, as it bounces there, look at that boot high. It is very high boots, very high cleats. Referee says too high. Dangerous play there by JJ.
It's a dangerous play, and it's in a dangerous spot now. This is a set piece right on the mouth of the penalty area, which brings its own challenges because we talked earlier about your options from a dead ball situation, and it's honestly too close to do the go up and over strategy. It's too tight. So you see maybe if they decide to take a strike on goal, keep it lower, or if instead they'll go for a pass first before giving it a crack.
Maybe go under the wall if they think the wall's going to jump. Maybe aim for the goalkeeper. Either way, Devin Boyce scored the winning goal from a free kick last match. He's desperate to do the same again, I'm sure.
5 more minutes to go in this game. It's Cheney and McLaughlin who are by Devin Boyce. Let's see what they conjure up. Devin Boyce gives it a go, and it's smothered by Omar Sis.
Again, I just don't know why that's tried. It's so difficult to get a shot in when players are closing you down that quickly. Why not just shoot at the goalkeeper? Again, force the keeper to have to hold on to the ball or to make a save. It's a numbers game. It's a percentage game. That percentage, trying to take a touch and a shot, very rarely comes off. You know you're going to get closed down quickly by the opposition.
Boyce having to track back to get that ball. Cheney heads it down for Jay. Jay couldn't slip that one by Spielman. Now it'll go. Some sauntering here from Charlotte. And we are going to see a debut for the Jacks here as Nelson Pierre. It was announced earlier today he would be going on loan to the Independents. He's coming over from the Philadelphia Union. It's actually not where he last played. He was recalled from Sweden, where he was also on loan from the Union and came back to the States and is now in Charlotte. 19-year-old forward.
And if you want a warm welcome, come on, score the winning goal. And you can be pretty much guaranteed you'll be loved by all at Charlotte Independence.
Standing at 6'1". Tall body for maybe to get one last set piece opportunity, a cross opportunity. Let's see what Nelson Pierre is made of here. He'll get the opportunity to demonstrate it. Alvarez is playing quite a bit deep right now. It does seem like he has slipped into the role that Oberton was in while he was on the pitch. That ever-involved midfielder in the center of the pitch as Nga plays this one across. Here's Correa, that's a loose touch. Nga was persistent though. He's got it now. Getting a little bit sloppy here.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Dustin Correa, beautiful ball played into his feet. Just didn't control it at all. And he's a touch player, so I'm looking at him going, judging by the goal he scored last game, you know, that should be easy for him to control the ball, and it wasn't.
Just 90 more seconds of the allocated 5 to go. Sometimes this can happen, Gary, between two quality teams. It's two sides who are not willing to give the other team an avenue to strike. And it has been, in many essences, an affair where it's been reserved attacking for both teams. Don't want to leave themselves exposed. With one or two chances for both sides that haven't been able to fall through.
Referee's just saying 1, 2, 3 times. That's where the yellow card comes up. But you're right, you know, both coaches have tried to be positive. They've made changes, they've thrown attacking bodies on, but I think first and foremost, you credit both sides for being very good defensively. Have a look, there's a late tackle there by Sosa. But they've both tried to be positive. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but to be successful, your first step is to not give anything away. And both sides have done that. Unfortunately, Bernd Shipman's made a fantastic save from a Carlton Belmar header. Brilliant, and Christian Cheney's had what looked like a good goal disallowed, but there could be a reason that we didn't see. So both managers will point to opportunities, but all in all, it's been a defensive masterclass that hasn't allowed much to happen in attack.
Two teams that are pretty staunch defensively and have two excellent goalkeepers on top of that sitting between the sticks for them. As Pack pops this one ahead. Now it's just a matter of when the ref decides that enough's enough.
And again, if you had to pick who's the happier, you've got to think it's Mike Jeffries. You're away from home, pick up a point away from home against one of your rivals. That's a decent day at the office.
Could get even better here. Pierre tries the shot. And that's our first look at the debutant loanee.
What a chance. What a chance that was to be welcomed with open arms by all and sundry at Charlotte Independence. Stick that one in the corner. At least, again, he should have made the goalkeeper work there. Pierre, Nelson Pierre, and instead puts it wide of target.
And Ga lobs this one forward again. Now Belmar to Correa. Is there another chance here for Charlotte? It's Pierre making the run once again. And now Timmy Mel lofts it up the pitch once again. And that's where this one will conclude. It'll start and end with zeros on the scoreboard, both sides securing a clean sheet and a point here. A point apiece between two top-notch sides in USL League One. As we now take a look at what is our save of the match, brought to you by Electric E-Bikes. I mean, it's got to be that one, right?
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic ball in from Dimmick. Wonderful header from Belmar, but the save from Bernd Shipman, full stretch, left arm, strong left arm, pushes it away from danger.
That was also your play of the match, brought to you by Dairyland Insurance, and the author of that play is your Festival Foods man of the match, Bert Shipman, with his 6th clean sheet of the season, which ties him with Sean Lewis at the top in league action. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with our post-game thoughts after this.
This isn't just your normal bike. It folds, it unfolds, and it just goes. Need to climb that hill? No problem. And if you're looking for speed, well, you've come to the right place. 28 miles per hour, up to 65 miles of range. And equipped with hydraulic brakes, this is the Electric XP 3.0. Fully foldable, fully assembled, ships free. Simple as that. Go to electricebikes.com and come ride with us.
It's an S.
Not bad. My name is John Murphy.
Pausani Ferry Sosa.
Soy Juan Galindre. I'm Devin Boyce.
I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know?
I can juggle. Justin. Ta, 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 ta. Justicia.
Justice.
Justice. Justice. Justice from the ground. Justice from the ground up.
Tomorrow, we've been expecting you. At TrueStage, we've been preparing for tomorrow for almost a century, helping businesses give their customers, members, and clients what they need to move forward with confidence. Because for us, the future brings possibility, protection, innovation, growth. With financial solutions across insurance, investments, and technology, the people you serve can take on tomorrow, today. So what are you waiting for? Tomorrow, here we come.
Here are our post-game thoughts here. Devastation for some players like Christian Cheney, who thought he had acquired all 3 points for his side, but it will be a point apiece between Forward Madison and the Charlotte Independents. We'll take a look at the full-time highlights here. Your full score brought to you by Rhyme. Let's look at how everything transpired throughout the 90 minutes of action, starting off with this giveaway, an opportunity for Forward Madison in the first half. Derek Gebhardt couldn't quite make the most of it, though. Austin Pack was able to stay planted in his place and just catch that one.
I think he was relieved because he was the one who gave that ball away. And then Alvarez here. This is the one little moment of magic, and he just puts that past her. That was that combination. It didn't quite work in the first half, the substitution coming in. And then they're still on the front foot. And a lovely ball coming in. This is the moment with Carlton Belmore. What a header, what a save, what a moment. He came on as a sub for Gabriel Oberton and immediately seemed to have made the difference. And it takes you right towards the end of the game before we had anything else to talk about. I think this is going to be the disallowed goal. We can't see why, because he's not in an offside position, Christian Cheney. Now, does he climb? I think they think he climbs on Spielman's back, but Spielman doesn't complain at all. And I don't think he did climb. I think that was just a fantastic leap. So, yeah, that's a tough one, Christian Cheney. I feel for you.
And here are your full-time stats brought to you by Rhyme. 16 shots to 9 in favor of Madison and 5-2 on target in favor of Madison. They also have the advantage in corners, in possession. But at the end of the day, it's 0-0 apiece. And like you said when we were wrapping things up, I think the Jacks will be happy, or at least happier, with the point on the road. As we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the home side, they'll look to bounce back in about 10 days on the road against Lexington, the newest announced USL Championship side, and then a big game against Omaha at home after that one. But that is where this one will end. Also, it'll be next Saturday against Central Valley Fuego from Mike Jeffrey's side. But for this broadcast crew, for Gary Bailey, I'm Mark Schoenster. We thank you for tuning in. Your final score, 0-0 between Forward Madison and the Charlotte Independents. We hope you had fun. We certainly did. Have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time on Golazo Network.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.